Hi, everybody. I'm Savani,
And I am Sabine.
and welcome to Behind the Byline, where we introduce you to the incredible storytellers behind each issue of Hidden Compass. Today, travel journalist Robin Catalano joins us. Welcome, Robin. We're thrilled to talk to you.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Robin's time travel story, The Bitter Taste of Fortune, delves into the incredible wealth generated by the colonial spice trade in her hometown of Salem, Massachusetts, and also the lost histories of the people who made that wealth possible.
So, Robin, this could have been a story about the boom of the spice trade and some of the United States' first millionaires, and it is, but it's also about so much more than that. Tell us about the people at the heart of your story and how they came to be such strong characters.
Yeah, so I will start by saying that it actually was a story, just like you were saying. I was researching how Salem became one of the wealthiest cities in the country via the Age of Sail. And the more I kept digging and interviewing people, the more I found this really interesting thread throughout that was about the contributions of people of color and indentured servants and building the wealth of colonial America. And it wasn't something I had come across before. So I started, going down that rabbit hole, digging a little bit more. The people who ended up in the stories, I'm really indebted to the various people that I quoted as experts in this story because their research kind of formed the basis of the stories that I chose. And, a little bit more digging, a little more finding documentation to piece it together. It felt like a bit of an excavation. And I think the trickiest part really was that prior to the 1960s, the histories of women and people of color are really poorly documented in, historical archives. So you might find mention of somebody in a birth certificate, an obituary, a tax record, but you don't find these fleshed out profiles that you do with accomplished white men of the time period. So I think in a way, this story is about piecing together as best as possible some of those lost histories.
Which is such an important endeavor. And I want to know, what was the most rewarding aspect of working on this story for you?
Really a lot of things, but I would say there were sort of like two really important pieces for me. The first was breaking down the narrative of the free, quote unquote, North, which, most of us learn in school that the North was free, the South was not, and the North was not nearly as free as we would like to think it is. So it was really important for me to mention that, especially as somebody who grew up in the North and took a great deal of pride in that part. Learning to kind of let go of it and acknowledge what really happened was incredibly important. And the second really important mission for me was sort of resurrecting those voices that had been lost to history. I think if we want to talk a good game about being allies, part of that is talking about the things that are not as flattering to us, that maybe are not, don't put our own histories or our own personal narratives in a good light. So I think that this is kind of that first step in acknowledging something that, wasn't so pretty.
It's an important step, and it's an important and beautiful story for those who are watching and haven't read it yet. You should go and check it out. What are you doing? You haven't done it yet. Go read it. And as you know, we publish each story with a patronage campaign. Maybe you don't know. We pay all of our writers, and then on top of that, they receive 50% of the patronage campaign proceeds, and the other 50% go to Hidden Compass to allow us to continue to publish stories like these. Robin, what would you like to say to those who have already contributed to your campaign?
Well, a big thank you, first of all, for kind of coming along on a story that is maybe not so easy to hear about something that a lot of us don't want to acknowledge or didn't want to acknowledge. So thank you for being really open-minded and listening to something like this. And then the second piece, another thank you for coming along on a ride about Salem that is not about the witch trials, because the witch trials are a really unique part of American history, but they account for only 9 months of Salem's history. And yet they take up all of the air in the room anytime there's a conversation about Salem. So I really wanted to make sure that people got another side of Salem and saw something else in the city because I see so many things there. So thank you to anybody who wants to learn more about Salem and what makes it special.
Well, I will echo that thanks. Thank you to all of the contributors to the patronage campaigns. If you haven't read the story, like Sabine said, go check it out. And thank you, Robin, for sharing this beautiful story with us, this important story with us, and for joining us today and spending some time with us.
Oh, it's my honor. Thank you, you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.